What's up guys, Noah from Stage 3 Motorsports here, and today we're going to be doing an install on the Bilstein 5100 leveling kit for the 2016 to 2020 Toyota Tacomas. So this is a front strut and a rear shock, and we're going to be doing the front first, then we'll move to the back, so let's get right into it. So to start disassembling our stock suspension, we're going to use a 10mm socket as well as a 12 to disconnect some of these brackets holding our brake lines and our ABS line. So we'll start up here and loosen this guy up. Now we're going to need a 12mm for the one down here on the knuckle. All right, and next up, we're gonna wanna remove this end link for our sway bar. So I'm gonna take a 17mm to bust that free, and then we're gonna work on actually getting this whole sway bar out of the way. There we go. As you'll see, as I go through, I typically like to put the nuts and bolts back in where I can, just so I don't forget where they go, and that way they don't get lost along the way. Now with this end link free, you'll want to go ahead and free up the one on the other side using a 17mm, just like we did here. And then I'm actually going to go underneath and use a 12mm socket on our ratchet to loosen up the bolts holding the skid plate on, and then that's going to give us access so we can get to the frame mount for the sway bar and move that all forward, and that just gives us a little bit more room to get the coilover out once we get to that stage. Using a 14mm socket on an extension, we're going to loosen up the two bolts holding this mount in now, and that's going to give us the ability to move this whole sway bar. Next, move on over to your tie rod end here, and we're going to use some pliers to just get this old cotter pin out of the way. With the cotter pin out of the way, grab a 19mm socket and a ratchet, preferably something a little bigger or something you can put a handle on to get some more leverage, and we're going to go ahead and loosen this up. There we go. Now as you back this up, I typically like to leave it on just with a couple threads to kind of guard this, because what we're going to need to do is hit the end of the knuckle to break this free. And a lot of times the Tacomas and the 4Unders have a tendency to really bind up here at these tie rod ends. So what also helps is adding a little bit of penetrating oil in there. Now I will caution you that if you're going to put some penetrating oil on it, don't spray it in there and leave it for an hour. I would let it sit a couple minutes and then give it a hit and see if you can get it free, and wipe up any excess oil that's there. That way it's not going to seep down into your ball joints and just get all over the place or cause you issues with wearing these out prematurely. Now it is time to persuade it with a hammer. Cool. That worked like a charm to break it free, so we'll back this nut the rest of the way off. Now grab your pliers again, and we're going to pull this little cotter pin out of the nut that's securing the upper control arm into the knuckle. And this one kind of has like a little clip on the side that you have to pull to get it free, just like that. And this is going to be another 19mm to get it off. All right, once again, at this point, I like to leave the nut on there just to hold this in place. And this is kind of an optional step. Normally you can come in and just hit the top of the knuckle to loosen this free and then pop it up, but there is quite a bit of tension on the upper control arm. So coming in here with some wrenches and loosening up the ends where the bushings are will takes some of that tension away and just makes it a little safer and easier to move. So we're gonna do that first, and then we'll get this all the way off. All right, now grab your 14mm socket, put it on the ratchet, and we're gonna loosen up the 3 nuts here holding on the top mount of the strut. Okay. Now, before we go ahead and try and remove this, we still need to undo the bottom. So all 3 of the top nuts are clear. We're gonna use a 19mm socket for this large nut on the back, and we'll just break this guy free, and then we should be able to pull the whole coilover out. Beautiful. All right, so here we've got our new Bilstein 5100 strut, and with this part of the job, I typically recommend that you take it to a shop to have them swap the top hat and that coil onto the new strut, just because these coils have a lot of tension on them, and most people don't have a spring compressor strong enough to actually break that down. So that's what we did. We had our guys down the road swap this out, got it all prepped, so now we just have to get it into place on the truck. Okay. I went ahead and reattached our nuts at the top of the strut, and then also popped in that lower bolt with the nut and washer that go onto it. So now we're gonna start retorquing all this down. As you go through, you're just gonna retorque everything to factory spec with this kit. I typically get it most of the way there just with a ratchet, and then I'll go back after with an actual torque wrench and make sure it's locked in. So let's tighten those, and then we'll work the rest of the way. Now let's go ahead and pull the castle nut off our upper control arm here, and we'll get this knuckle seated back into place. And if by some chance when you're doing this, your axle is pulled out slightly or isn't seated, you can usually just kind of wiggle from the brake rotor a little bit as you lift, and it'll seat back into place. Ours doesn't seem to be having that issue, so we'll lift it up here and bring this arm back down. Make sure to go ahead and put a cotter pin through this too once you've got it tight. Now I want to work on getting our tie rod reconnected to the knuckle. You want to make sure, since your sway bar is still loose, that you get this thing kind of up and out of the way so you don't accidentally get it stuck underneath the tie rod. So we're going to just shift that up here for the moment, and we'll pull this castle nut back off. Perfect. Now we've got a fresh cotter pin for this castle nut down here. We'll run that through real quick. Now let's go through and reattach these two brackets for our brake and ABS lines so they're not dangling out of the way. All right, so our sway bar is still disconnected, and it's actually disconnected on both sides as I did earlier to give us that kind of play that we needed to get the new strut in. So now that we're to the point of reattaching it, you want to make sure that you kind of catch yourself up to this point on the other side, so then you can reinstall the sway bar as one whole piece. So we're going to kind of wiggle this around and get it positioned, and I'll just pop this end link through real fast so that's keeping it somewhat in the right area. All right, there we go. I'll leave that nut kind of loose for now. Then we just need to go back into the wheel well back here where we can reattach that bracket with the two 14mm bolts. We'll do the same thing on the other side, and then that should have the sway bar all the way reconnected. With the frame mounts attached for that sway bar, we're going to come back to the end link and just tighten this up with a 17mm socket. One last thing you don't want to forget, if you loosen these mounts at the back of your upper control arm like I did earlier, you want to go back and retighten those a little bit so that there's some pressure there. Okay. We're really close to finishing up the front here, but with these Bilstein kits, you do want to make sure that you have these two big spacers that should have come with your front shocks. And what these are, kind of looks like a big flat washer, but it's a spacer for your bump stop back here. So getting around that bump stop can be a bit of a trick. The best way I've found to do it is using a pipe wrench. They're typically not on too tight, but you just need something wide enough to grab onto the outside edge to turn it. So we're going to twist that, put the spacer in, and retighten that bump stop up. That. So the last thing we need to do for the front end is to go back and throw our skid plate on, but other than that, everything here is tightened up and we can move around to the back once the skid is there. So the uninstall of the factory shocks on the back isn't too crazy, but you are going to need to use a 14mm wrench, and then typically I like to use a vice grip because this is a pin top style shock, so you need something to bite on to keep it from just rotating the shaft infinitely. So we'll get started on the top here by breaking this free. We'll take the little cap and the bushing off the top of this as well. And set those off to the side. All right, now we need to tackle the lower mount. Here you're gonna need to use a 17mm socket as well as a 17mm wrench. And we're just gonna loosen up this nut and bolt so we can pull that bolt through, and then that'll allow us to get this whole shock out. There we go. Make sure you save this lower hardware because you're going to be reusing it. So here we've got our new Bilstein shock, and you want to make sure you get this set up with the washers and that bushing for the bottom section so we can slot this in. We'll put the pin through the top, and then we're going to do the bottom first and come back and we'll add the bushing and the nut at the top once the bottom's in place. Now I'll put the washer and the factory nut back on this bolt. And we'll use that 17mm socket to tighten it up again. Now on the top side, we're going to take that new bushing and the washer for the very top of this pin. We'll drop those into place, and then you're also going to have a new nylock nut that goes with this shock. So we'll start to thread this on by hand, just make sure it goes on straight. And then this is going to be a 17mm at the top now, so we'll tighten that down and we should be good to go. Once you start to tighten this nylock nut down, you're going to realize that it'll start spinning the shaft on the inside, but the Bilsteins do have a cut in that shaft where you can fit a number 5 Allen key in there to hold that steady. And then it's just a little bit of a tedious process from here of kind of working it with the wrench, but you just want to lock it down to where it starts squeezing on these rubber bushings. All right, there we go. So with that top pin tightened up and the bottom's locked on, that's really all it takes for the rear shock. Now, it is worth noting real quick that we did take the wheel off just to give you guys a better view, but you don't necessarily have to have the wheel off to do this. The rear shocks are pretty easy to access just reaching in. So from there, that's going to be a wrap on the Bilstein install. As always, thank you guys for watching, and definitely make sure once you get this done that you get your vehicle professionally aligned, because once you've changed the fronts, there's always that chance that things are going to be slightly in a different geometry and it can wear your tires weird or it might cause you to pull a little bit. So get that alignment done and you should be good to go. Now, if you're interested in picking up one of these Bilstein kits for your Tacoma, head down that description below, click the links, they'll shoot you over to our website, and I'll see you guys next time.